Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is not going to be a brand new face video, but I thought it would be a lot of fun to sit down and play with a couple of products from my brand new face videos that I just haven't used quite too often yet. I know that these products are products that when I created those videos, I was like, yes, these are great products, and I gave them thumbs up and I held on to them. However, just some of them I have not gotten back around to using again. Some of them I've definitely used maybe 2 or 3 times, but there's also a good amount of them here that I just have minimally picked up. I want to use them again. So I wanted to create this video to give myself an excuse to use these products again, because I remember from my brand new face videos very much enjoying them, and a couple of times that I picked them up, you know, in between and just for other things. But yeah, I just haven't gotten a whole lot of use out of some of these products, and I really want to be using them again. So that's what we're doing for this video. And then also what really got me to see these products again is the video that I plan on posting before this one. That's not a brand new face video. We did that declutter. If you guys have not seen that, go ahead and check it out. I'll leave it linked down below and at the end of the video here for you guys. But yeah, I did a declutter, which kind of also had me re-see some of these products again, where I was just like, oh man, I need to use some of these again. So that definitely helped inspire this video. And this isn't like a uncommon type of video for YouTubers to make. So we're gonna play with makeup that's been sitting in the collection here that just needs a little bit more love again, and try to, you know, hope we still enjoy it as much as we did when we first put them in the initial brand new face videos. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to clip my hair back real quick. And I think what I want to do first is, usually we start out with the eyes, but I thought it would be fun to start with the brows first. Try to get that shape in, because I want to try and do kind of like that smoky liner. I do a lot of the same kind of techniques when it comes to creating eye looks on this channel. So I wanted to try to do something a little bit slightly different with the eyes. So I want to start with the brows here to kind of get that shape and find out how far out we want to take liners and shadows here. So let's go ahead and grab our brow product. And I decided to pull out our She Glam Skinny Brow Pencil. I remember very much enjoying the color of this product and the skinny micro brow, you know, the skinny micro applicator of it, and of course it having a spoolie. But I don't know, I have not picked this one up as much as I should. So I wanted to grab this one again and use it on the brows, and hopefully we still enjoy it as much as I remember from that video. So let's go ahead and comb through our brows and apply this. All right, so there are the brows. Definitely still really enjoy the color and the micro applicator on them. It feels a little different to be doing the brows before anything else for me. They're definitely, just without any makeup on, looking very bold, but I think after we put on our foundation and stuff, that stuff should kind of start to mesh together. But yeah, still very much enjoying the color and the application of this product. So that is super awesome and super exciting. Now let's go ahead and jump into the eyes, and we're gonna put down some concealer first, and a concealer that I have not used in quite some time, but it was definitely part of my 99 favorites video. This is the Makeup Obsessions Mega Concealer. Now, in that video, I talked about how I very much enjoyed using this product as a foundation. I think that's what we initially got it for, because I don't think at the time Makeup Obsessions had a foundation. They might now, but at the time they did not. And so I had 2 of these. I only have 1 now. When we went through that declutter, I think I did get rid of the darker shade and I held on to the lighter shade. But we're going to use this as a concealer today, and we're going to conceal the eyes and get them ready for our eyeshadows. And then I will just be blending this out here with our dampened Kokie blender. And I mean, I've been instantly reminded of how much I enjoy this concealer. The applicator on it is so big and so interesting. So if you were to use this one as a foundation, you can just get a good area covered. But the formula of this is just so soft and smoothing, when you're blending it out here, it just, the consistency of it is so pretty. I definitely need to use this concealer so much more because I just, again, was just instantly reminded of how much I enjoyed that. Yes. All right, and let's go ahead and keep moving here with the eyes. So for eyeshadows, I have two palettes here that I definitely want to use. I'll probably bounce in between them a little bit with kind of the idea that I want, but the first palette that I really want to get some good use out of is this I Love You palette from Malibu Glitz. And if you guys remember from our Malibu Glitz video, here's what it looks like on the inside. A lot of rainbowy colors in here, but we've also got a lot of like shimmers and glitters. I love the colors in this palette, and I'm such a neutral person when it comes to makeup, and honestly right now on a daily basis I'm wearing little to no makeup. So whenever I'm recording these videos or just messing around on the weekends, that's really the only time I'm like dipping into my collection. So I want to be able to use this palette more often. So that's why we pulled it out today. And then the other one, I've mentioned this also in my favorites video and a couple of other times maybe on the channel, of just this palette right here is such a great palette. And the fact that it is a green eyeshadow palette just really intrigues me, and like to want to play with more greens on the eye. So that's what I really want to do today, is create some sort of green, like a smoky liner green eye. I remember just super enjoying this palette when we used it on the channel, and I've dipped into it just so minimally, which is like, I need to use it more. And then it sadly fell at one point and I broke this shadow over here, but yeah, I need to use this palette more. So I think the game plan is gonna be, we're actually not gonna quite hop into those yet because I want to get the shape down and the darkness down with an eyeliner first. Now the eyeliner I'm gonna use today is not from one of the videos. I could have used, I guess, the She Glam eyeliner, but for what I'm doing, I thought this one with the little smudger that it has, it would be a better eyeliner to do so. So this is a Maybelline. This is a Maybelline eyeliner. Again, this hasn't been on any of my channel yet or in any of my videos. We haven't done a Maybelline video yet. But I wanted to use this one to kind of get the eyeliner down first and kind of smoke out that darkness, and then kind of layer the shadows over top of it and kind of go from there. But actually, we're going to grab our loose powder. I'm all over the place today. We're gonna grab the loose powder, which is gonna be the LA Girls Pro Powder. And I'm just gonna open this and take a little bit on a fluffy brush. We'll just grab the Morphe M441 brush. Let's just go ahead and set those eyes down first. We just wanna make sure that the shadows glide on nicely. And then we will grab that eyeliner and start to kind of figure out our shape and how we want this eyeliner to come out. I have no idea how well this is gonna turn out. I'm just trying to do different types of looks, and I've seen these kind of looks get created all the time on like my Instagram. I'm like, I wanna try this out. So I've done it a couple times, and sometimes I've had success and have liked how it has looked, and sometimes it's not good at all. So crossing our fingers that this will turn out really nicely, but let's just go ahead and create our liner. All right, so once we've sort of got that general shape here, I'm going to take the smudger on the end and kind of just smudge this out. Okay. This probably looks really crazy right now, but I'm going to try and trust the process. As you can see, it looks a little odd, especially with my hooded eye shape, that it definitely kinks it really weird. But I'm not too worried about how crazy it looks here right now. I do plan on kind of cleaning things up on the sides here after we put the rest of the eyeshadows on, but I just wanted to get that dark base down first for us to put our eyeshadows over. And what I want to do here first is, yeah, we're gonna do it. I don't know how well it'll work out, but we're gonna do it. We are going to dip into our I Love You palette, And I just want to use this shade right at the top here called Date Night, just to kind of darken that shadow a little bit more. I want to go for a green kind of look, but none of these palettes necessarily have like a solid black. This one does have this little black dress, which maybe I'll add that on next, but I kind of want to get more of a dark color down first, and then maybe I'll dip into that. And then we'll probably use the other palette here for most of our green shades. So I am just grabbing a M213 brush here, dipping into that Date Night blue shade and just applying this essentially where we've put that liner, but focusing it closer to the lid where the lashes are. All right, and next what we're gonna do is we're gonna hop into our hard candy palette here, and I'm going to dip into this green shade over here and run that just slightly above where we did the blue, so still slightly on the liner here, but try to run it a little bit above so we can start to see that green color show up. Okay, things are still looking a little odd here, but I'm trusting the process as we go. So next I'm gonna dip back into this I Love You palette, and I think I am gonna take that shade down here called Little Black Dress and apply this where we initially applied this blue. Try to darken things up a little bit more there and add a little bit of that shimmer. So just gonna keep using that same brush. I am wiping it off here in between, try to get a lot of the color off. And we will now apply that shade. And next, I'm going to grab our Luna Magic brush. This is like a slightly smaller blending brush. I'm gonna dip in between the two palettes. I'm gonna hit this yellow one here called Spring Fling, and I could use this Panic shade, but because I'm trying to use both palettes here, I'm going to also in the hard candy palette dip into this shadow over here. It's very similar to the green that's in this one, but I want to dip in between the two. So I'm gonna dip in between the yellow and the green just to get a little bit of brightness and apply that essentially right above. So we're kind of just lightening things up as we go. So going right above everything so far. Getting there slowly. All right, and then next what I want to do is grab our M433 brush, and then I'm gonna dip into this like bronzy shade right here. I meant to honestly do this before we put down the liner and stuff, but I'm gonna run this through the crease just to kind of add some warmth and definition right in that crease. Okay, and I don't think I initially was gonna do this, but I've changed my mind. I do wanna add some shimmer on the eyelid, so I'm gonna dip into the I Love You palette and grab this Diamonds shade right here. This one is like a pretty packed and pigmented, like pressed glitter or shimmer. Like when you pick it up, you definitely get a lot. So I'm gonna kind of like diffuse it on my arm here, because I do just want this to show up very light and shimmery on the eye. All right, I'm liking this so far. Again, like when I look straight on, just with my hooded eyes, things are a little odd right now, but I do think once we clean up these edges and we apply mascara, hopefully that'll look a little bit more normal. What we're gonna do next, because we're gonna step away from eyeshadows here. I think the top lids are kind of where I want them right now, but we are going to grab our eyeliner, and the eyeliner that I grabbed is the LA Girl Fine Line eyeliner here. I don't think I've used this one since that video. I remember enjoying it. Oh yeah, and it has like a very small applicator. Yeah, obviously I enjoyed it during the video. I held on to it, but I just have not picked it up again since. So we are gonna do a little bit of liner. It's gonna help kind of bring out the darkness in our already winged shadow look here. I don't know if I'll wing, maybe I'll do a tiny little wing just to kind of keep that emphasis But yeah, let's go ahead and apply this. Okay, yep, I definitely remember why I enjoyed this one. That tiny little applicator helps you get such a nice, fine and defined liner. So if you're somebody who really likes like a skinny, thin line when you're applying your liquid liner, you would love this. Also, if you're somebody who's good or enjoys making winged liner, I think you would like this too. I'm kind of debating. It's not anything I've ever done before. I'm kind of curious on if this would work with that whole like fox, I think it's a fox liner type situation where you kind of create that point on the inner corner of the eye. I won't do it yet. I'll have to kind of finish the look and see if that's something I want to do, but with this being so defined, I wonder if it'd work really well for that. So yeah, still loving that. That is amazing. So let's go ahead, grab a wipe here and kind of clean up the edges. Okay. And let's go ahead now and apply our mascara. And the mascara I grabbed was the Soap & Glory Thick and Fast Super Volume Mascara. Again, I used this one in the video. I remember the applicator being huge. And that's really the only time I used it. So I'm gonna curl my lashes and let's go ahead and apply the mascara. Yep, still huge, oh boy. All right, and that mascara is applied. Again, I don't know why I've not been grabbing for this. Like, the applicator is big. You definitely, like with my small eyes and my teeny tiny lashes, like it takes some time and I have like try to be very cautious that I'm not gonna like poke my eye or anything, but man, this is beautiful. I love this. It definitely starts out very like thin. I don't quite remember how my first impressions were of it in my video, but it's definitely thin and I took some time to like really build it up, but like the length is there. Yeah, I need to use this mascara more. So I am so happy that I still have it. That is amazing. Let's go ahead and move on to the face here now. So we are going to hop into primer. And the primer that I pulled out is the Believe Beauty Pretty and Primed. I've probably used this one 2 or 3 other times and I really just can't recall what I think of it. Or maybe I've used it in combination and not on its own. I don't remember. So we're gonna use this today. It's definitely been some time since it's been used. It's a little separated on the top there. All right, that primer is applied. I don't remember what I thought of this one initially. I'm not at the moment honestly being very like floored by it, I guess. Comparing it to some of the other primers that I've held on to from these brand new face videos, there are definitely other ones that come to mind that I think I enjoy a little bit more than this. But so far it's kind of just giving a nice dewy base here. It's supposed to be like a stay put primer, so maybe it's just more for like that long hold throughout the day. Maybe that's what it's more geared towards. But just as like an initial base primer, I'm not seeing much of smoothing happening or any pore filling or anything like that. Again, I don't think it's necessarily intended for that, but those are the types of primers that I typically enjoy and are gravitated towards. So right now, yeah, it's not really as thrilled by it as I maybe was when I first got it for the brand new face video. So I'm gonna set that aside and I have to make a decision on foundation because I actually grabbed out 2, and the first one that I grabbed was our Juvia's Place I Am Magic foundation, and I remember really enjoying this, it being very full coverage. That's what I remember of that so far. I think I've only used it one other time off camera, but then something I have just not used and I've wanted to try to use it on its own and I haven't gotten around to is these Surat, the Drop Foundation. I'm not gonna use these in combination. I have to make a decision as to which one I want to use. I think right now, just kind of with the condition that my face is in right now, I do want a little bit more coverage. And if I remember correctly, this one wasn't so full coverage. It was more just like dewy drop foundation. And this one is definitely a full coverage foundation. So I'm not going to use the Surratt, but I need to get back around to trying this out and seeing what I think about it just on its own. So not going to use that one today, but we are going to use the Juvia's Place. So let's go ahead and squeeze a little bit of this on the back of our hand. Oh yes, that's right. It's definitely thick. I don't remember if it feels thick on the face or not, but definitely a thicker consistency. And let's just take our sponge, apply this on the face. There's the foundation. A little bit definitely goes a long way, and it definitely gives you really good coverage. I ended up only using like half of what I had here on my hand. So definitely don't need a lot to still get a really good coverage on the face. Definitely something I'm noticing, and this might be a primer thing or just like the condition of my face, is I've got some texture right here that I wish didn't look the way it did right now. But that's, again, that's probably just the condition of my face right now. So that is something that I'm noticing, but that's not in any way the foundation's fault, I don't think. But yeah, I like the finish of this. It looks very full coverage. It doesn't feel heavy or anything. Very exciting. All right. Let's go ahead and wipe off the rest of this. Let's go ahead and grab our concealer here and conceal under the eyes. And even though I've got a lot going on my face here, that foundation, aside from maybe that guy, did a really good job of covering up like the redness and like the darkness from any acne that I have. So I don't think I need to do a lot of like spot concealing, but I do need to get under the eyes here. And maybe just do a little bit of brightening and then hit that guy. Alrighty, the face is applied. I'm going to hop back to the brows here now. I put in that brow pencil, but I didn't put any like brow gel or anything in case as we applied our eyes and our face and stuff, if we bumped them, the hairs would move around. So I am gonna come back to them now. I'm gonna grab that spoolie from the pencil and just recomb through them. And then I'm going to grab a brow gel, and the brow gel I decided to grab was the Beauty Creations. I actually don't have a lot of brow gels that I've held onto from these videos, or maybe when I cleaned up my collection, maybe got rid of more than a good amount of them. I really don't remember, honestly. So I grabbed the Beauty Creations. I think I've used this one a couple more times than some of the other products here, but compared to all of the brow gels that I have, this is definitely one I want to get a little bit more used to. I think this one has a good, like, you can really feel it hardening down. It does a good job holding the brows in place. Ooh, I got a lot on there. Ooh, gonna have a shiny brow. That's okay. Okay, yes, that's definitely a brow gel that I very much enjoy. I can definitely feel it hardening down, so that's awesome. I probably should have set the face down with powder before doing that to try to avoid any forehead creasing, but that's honestly just something that my forehead does, so I'm not too worried about that. So let's go ahead and grab that powder. I mentioned it at the beginning of the video, but this is going to be the LA Girls setting powder, and I'm going to use a brush, but something I want to do after we also apply the bronzer is something that I did a lot in the beginning of these videos, and honestly before I even started recording these videos, is I used to take a dry blender and do like the whole sculpting down here with the powder, and I have not done that in a long time. So we're going to quickly set all around the face. We're not going to worry too much about down here because I will be coming back and essentially baking or sculpting that out with a sponge. Powder is on. Not too much to think about on that one here at the moment. It works just like a good old setting powder. So let's go ahead and grab bronzer. And I don't actually think that this bronzer was like technically in my brand new face video, but I grabbed the Believe Beauty Get Glowing Highlight and Contour Palette. I think in the video, we just used this palette for the blush and the highlighter, and Honestly, I very much enjoyed using them for that, but then I had a separate bronzer in the video, but I thought I would get a little bit more use out of this bronzer. Definitely out of all of my bronzers, I don't think I have really, I've reached for it maybe once or twice, but yeah, I don't really remember what I think of this. So let's go ahead and grab the Laurice brush. It's their LR375 flat powder brush. I'm gonna dip into there and then tap it on the back of my arm here, on my arm here, and then we will apply. There is that bronzer applied. I think it definitely works very similar to the other separate Believe Beauty bronzer that I have. That bronzer is a lot more bronzy and like has some shimmer to it. This one is a little bit more of like not a fully matte bronzer, so it provides that warmth. It's a very soft, so I think it's a very subtle, but when you get it in the right angles, you can definitely see the bronzing and the contouring kind of going on. So it's definitely very, very pretty, but a very subtle and soft bronzer as well. So I do really like it. I think it is beautiful. I do still kind of think compared to a lot of the other bronzers I have, probably wouldn't be one that I reach for on a regular basis, but it's still beautiful formula. Looks really pretty here on the face. So that's awesome. Let's go ahead and do our sculpting with our powder. Again, this is something I used to always do, and I think at one point I was just like, I'm gonna try something different and we're just gonna use just a brush, and I don't know why, I just never really went back to doing this, but I always loved that effect that this provided. So we're gonna do it again. Maybe this will come back into my routine again. So I'm just grabbing a dry sponge. This is an e.l.f. sponge. You could always wet it down as well, but for some reason whenever I do this with powder, I just like to use a dry sponge. And I like to use the pointed edge here. You could always use the flat edge too, but I like using the point, and then just kind of creating your sculpt. This powder is definitely more sheer than some translucent powders. Sometimes you can really see the powder on the face. Not really this one. Okay, you can kind of see this, but yeah, you can still see a little bit of that sculpting happening. We're gonna let this sit just for a little bit. A lot of other powders, I guess I've never done this with this powder, but other powders that I've done this with before, you can see the powder when it's sitting on your face a little bit more than this one. This one is definitely a lot more translucent than some other translucent powders that I have. But let's just let that sit for a little bit, and while we let it sit, we will apply blush. And oh man, these are blushes that I've always been like, I need to use these, and honestly, I've only used it in the video, and I don't know why I've never gotten back around to using them again, but it is the Amore US. I think it's Amore US, Amore Us, I'm never too sure, but these little So Chic blush duos. I've got two of them. I don't remember which one I used in the video. I probably used this one, which is their Rose, but then I also have their Coral one, but they're like a matte blush with like a shimmer blush on bottom. And I don't know why I have not used these, because they're so beautiful. I remembered very much enjoying it in the video, and I don't know why. So I'm pretty sure I've used this Rose one in the video. I'm not going to use that one. So we're going to set that aside, but we are going to use the Coral one today. I don't think I'm going to use the shimmer. I'm really not too much of a fan of like a shimmer blush. Sometimes I enjoy a little bit of a shimmer topper, but not the biggest fan typically of a shimmer blush. And it does honestly look like this has a little bit of shimmer in the initial blush itself as well. So that'll be plenty shimmer for me. So let's go ahead and grab a e.l.f. angled blush brush, dip on into this coral shade. Oh, yep, it's gonna be very pigmented. Let's apply this. Okay, there is the blush applied. It is definitely a very pigmented blush, so I I took my time to build it, but I'm really happy with this color. I think this coral and this green honestly looks really cute together. I think the more rosy blush would have worked as well, but right now I'm really liking that. And with this powder sitting on the face here still, like you're really getting that good sculpt going on with everything here. That is beautiful. I could even build this up a little bit more if I really wanted to. We're gonna leave it there for now, but man, I really need to use this blush more often, both of them, the coral one and the rose one. I need to use these more often. They are beautiful. Yes, very happy. That's amazing. So let's go ahead and take that powder brush and sweep away our little sculpt that we had going on here. And let's go ahead and apply highlighter. So for highlighter, I grabbed the Juvia's Place, the Tribe Highlighter Volume 3. It's this guy right here. And similar, I've really only used it the one time in the video. I don't think I've grabbed it since, but I remembered at first seeing it and being hesitant that this would be a little bit of a chunkier highlight, just based off how it looks here in the pan. But after applying it on the face here, it is, I believe it was like not chunky. Like it was a nice, pearly, beautiful highlighter, the type of highlighter that I'm typically looking for. So that's what I remember of it, and I haven't used it since. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna use a fan brush today and apply it. And that highlighter is applied. It's honestly still really amazing. With me applying it with a fan brush, I think it's a little bit more of a subtle highlight, but you can still really see it there. I need to use that highlighter more. And just like a lot of these products, I just need to use them more. They're honestly really good products. Wow. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go back to the eyes. I'm not sure what I want to do on the lower lash line. Part of me really likes it being like very minimal, nothing really there, just to really help emphasize the greens that are going on. But I also really want to do like a gold under eye here too. Let's do the gold. Let's do the gold. We want to use these palettes more. That was the initial thing. Let's do the gold. So I'm going to grab first. Okay, we're gonna use the Hard Candy palette. I don't think I'm gonna use the I Love You palette for the under eye here, but we're gonna grab this one. And I'm going to take, I think we're really just gonna use one brush for under the eyes here. We're gonna take the ColourPop E20 brush, and then taking the shade here that we used for our transition, we're gonna lay that down first, just kind of all along the lower lash line. And I could definitely use a fluffy brush for this and pinch it, but I'm just being lazy. I'm actually gonna use a larger brush. We're gonna grab that M433, the brush that we initially used for the crease shade, and pinch that and apply it that way. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab that ColourPop brush and I'm gonna spray it down. Yes. I'm gonna grab the setting spray, which is gonna be the LA Girls Pro Setting Spray. Again, just a product that's been sitting in my collection that I probably should get more use out of. And we are gonna dip into this gold shade here in the Hard Candy palette. I remember using this gold shade in the video and really enjoying it. So I want to just put this all against the lower lash line. Being that it is like a pressed glitter or like a pigmented shimmer shade, it might fall out a little bit. All right, and then let's go ahead and apply an inner corner highlight. So grabbing that highlighter again, and I think I'm gonna use that same brush that still has a little bit of the gold on it and dip into the highlighter and apply this in the inner corner. At the beginning of the video, I talked about maybe doing that like little foxy winged liner thing, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think it'd be really cool, but mostly just don't want to mess things up too much. So we're probably just going to keep the eyes like this. All right. And then we will grab that mascara again and complete the lower lashes. And there are the eyes complete. I definitely really like that gold underneath. It's not as like gold as I imagined. Maybe I could have put like a yellow base down and then the gold, and then it would have been a lot more kapowy, I guess. But still, I think the gold accents what's going on the upper eyelids here a lot. So very happy with how the eyes turned out. Again, it still is a little odd with the shape of my eyelids, but after applying the mascara, things do look a little bit more complete. And you know, if you get it at the right angle, it still looks really cool. So I'm really happy with the eyes here so far. Let's go ahead and move on to the lips. And I picked out a couple of different like lip liners and lip products depending on how everything else went up top here. So I grabbed things that were a little bit more pinky, but then also grabbed a nude combination here as well. I think we're gonna go with the nude option. I think that'll just look really nice with the greens that are going on with the face. And we already kind of have like this pop of coral. I think the pink might kind of interfere with that. So we're gonna go nude. So for the lip liner, I grabbed the Essence Stay 8-Hour Lip Liner. And yeah, just another product that I've really only used the one time in the video. I remembered very much enjoying it. I think maybe it was a touch dry, but I definitely liked the overall color of it, and it was just slightly different than some of the other lip liners that I had. So yeah, this is gonna be the color that we use. It's a little bit, compared to the other lip liner, which was the Rimmel, this one was more of a pinky one that I haven't used. This one definitely, the Essence one is a little bit more nude compared to that one, but it still kind of has like that pinkiness to it, I think. So let's just apply this to the lips and see what we think. All right. Wow, honestly not drying really at all. I'm not too sure where I got that from. I must be thinking of a different lip liner. But that applied so quick. And that color looks so nice just on its own. I could just put a gloss on this and be good. But I do have some lipsticks here as well that I really wanted to use again. And the one that I grabbed for the nude was this Color Mates. I don't know why. Like, it was one of the, Color Mates was probably like the third or fourth video that I recorded, and I just have not gone back to using this again. It's such a beautiful, basic nude color, and I just have not grabbed it again. So I wanted to pull it out here again and use it. And I think with this lip liner, I think it's gonna look really pretty. So let's apply that to the lips. And that is applied. That is a very, very good match. Those two colors are actually very, very similar. So that worked out really well. It's a darker nude than I think I was going for. The lights and everything kind of throw off kind of what I think sometimes something's gonna look, and then I see it on camera and it's a little bit darker, but I like that. I'm glad we did this versus like a pink. I think that looks really good with the darkness that's going on with the eyes. So yes, very, very much enjoying that lip combination. Let's go ahead and set the face. I think that's where we're at right now. Make sure I'm not forgetting any products. Nope. Let's go ahead and set the face. We're gonna grab that LA Colors Pro Setting Spray. Just another one that I just have not grabbed for. And it's such a good, convenient size that, I mean, I should use it more often. Let's go ahead and set the face. Then grab our fan and the sponge. We are set. That feels so nice on the face. I need to use this more often. And that is this full face. I am so shocked and so happy with how things looked. We took a little bit of a risk doing something a little bit different here with the eyes, but I am so happy with how it looked out, or I'm so happy with how it turned out. I need to try doing other different techniques and maybe even something more like this, just to kind of mix up like the types of looks that we do on this channel. So I really love this green look. I like this smoky liner look. And I'm really happy with how things are looking. I'm gonna take these clips out real quick. All right. And so here is what our full face is looking like. This isn't a brand new face video, but I'm not too sure how to like actually wrap this up. Overall, I'm so happy that I went and I reached for these products again. I would say the one that I was probably the least thrilled about using again was maybe the primer. I definitely have other primers that I think I just enjoy the performance on them a little bit more. So I'll probably hang on to it here for a little bit longer and, you know, try to use it a couple more times here. But out of everything, probably just wasn't the most thrilled about it. But everything else, the eyeshadow palettes, I'm so happy I used a little bit more. I definitely could still get a little bit more use out of that Malibu I Love You palette and some of the other colors in there. But those eyeshadow palettes, I definitely needed to get some more use out of. The blushes, I need to use those blushes more often, and everything here needs to get a little bit more use. So if you guys enjoyed this type of video, reaching back into the collection and using some of these products a little bit more, let me know in the comments down below, and I would love to create more videos like this for you guys. And yeah, that's gonna be everything. I hope you guys enjoyed the look. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, feel free to give the video a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you guys want to be notified of the next time I post, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you guys can be notified. And that's going to be everything. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.